Yeah, he killed it, but they were pushing hard enough. One crew member down, but that's more out of jubilation. This could be the last stop here. Let's go down to Gary Gerald.
Well, here's Barry Green with Jacques Villeneuve. Now, you see DeFerrin come in now, and he gets the late fuel. How much does that impact your strategy, and you're concerned over your fuel consumption since you were first in?
Well, it's going to be tight for us, Gary. We took that gamble just now. It was pretty obvious after the first stop that we were making better fuel mileage than DeFerrin. So we're not too concerned. It's still going to be tight for them. They were a couple of laps short of us, but it'll be interesting. We should be okay, though.
Now that you've had this much yellow, that obviously is helping your situation a great deal, I would think.
That one extra yellow made a big difference. So we'll see what happens. Keep your fingers crossed for the players' team.
I'll tell you what, fuel always comes into it here at Elkhart Lake, Paul.
We should be ready to go green. A wonderfully tactical race, some good wheel-to-wheel racing on the course.
To give you an idea why Barry Green may be comfortable taking the gamble, Jacques Villeneuve pitted on lap 17 on his first run, but he also ran 2 pace laps. That was 19 laps. Now he pitted with 20 laps to go, so 3 of those 20 laps have now been under yellow. So from what we saw earlier, Jacques Villeneuve should just about have enough fuel to finish this race.
16 cars all on the leader lap. Jan Beekes, you're keeping an eye on him too.
That's right. We talked to Barry Green. We checked with Derek Walker as far as Christian Fittipaldi's fuel circumstances. He says the way we've been going so far, the fuel mileage is perfect. We don't expect to have any problem. That was our last time you'll see Christian Fittipaldi down here in the Walker Racing pit.
Remember also, the first man of the leading group that we saw in the pit lane was Gilles DeFerrin, who only went 16 laps. So the Mercedes engine does not seem to have the fuel efficiency that Barry Green has in that Ford engine that's in Jacques Villeneuve's Players Reynard.
Record number of yellows here thus far, 4, for a total thus far of 13 laps. Brian Herta will be receiving a black flag as well. Pit violation.
And once again, let me just tell you, don't take your eyes off Paul Tracy, because on these opening laps, he is superb. He is so brave on cool tires, and he has a smell of the lead of this race now. So Paul Tracy, just keep your eye on him.
Final couple of corners coming back to green as you look down from the Honda Helicam. Just over, it's Route 67 here in Wisconsin, just below the helicopter. Up the hill they come, they watch, there's the green. All right, here we go. Jacques Villeneuve leads the field down. Bossell second. Boy, take a look at the weaving and bobbing that we're seeing out of Vassar.
Tracy had to protect that position. Look at Fernandez goes down the inside of Scott Pruitt, but Tracy having to fend off the advances.
A lot of desperate men in this field. You ride with Andre Ribeiro right now. Few laps left and lots of position to come forward. Andre chasing Scott Pruitt, 2 Firestone tire shod race cars.
And Pruitt clearly in trouble. Slow down this straight. Here comes Tracy.
Tracy comes to the inside of Bossell. They are side by side there. Bossell off the right edge of the course. He's forced off. Tracy climbs the hill. Bossell losing time now as Teo Fabi comes up to the inside. They close on Vassar.
And you can just tell when Paul Tracy's around, that type of move is going to be tried. And Bossell went way too far and began to put himself off the racetrack. Now he blocks his team boss.
Yeah, but now do we have shades of last year at the front of the field? Jack taking the race away from Tracy then. Now Tracy is in second place. Are we going to see him make up for a year ago?
Paul Tracy, just like Jacques Villeneuve, also stopped after 17 laps and 2 pace laps earlier. So we believe it may be a fuel battle, and they may have enough between Villeneuve and Paul Tracy. Jan Beekes?
We have seen 2 of the Pac West cars get together. Both drivers have made it down here to the paddock. Mauricio, you were the first guy to get in trouble. What happened?
Basically, I was passing Fernandez around the outside, and I had gearbox problem. I couldn't get in 4, so I made turn 1 in 5th gear. That was too long. I got on the grass, and then from there on, I was just hanging to the car, and unfortunately, Danny didn't have anywhere to go.
What was your reaction when you saw it was Sullivan and both cars out of the race?
I knew he was behind, and when I saw that he was the one that actually hit me, it's very sad for the team, but that's racing, I guess.
Yeah, there were obviously some very disappointed crew members, but thankfully you're okay, Mauricio.
Thank you.
Ribeiro finally makes the move on Scott Pruitt, comes around him. Villeneuve still the leader, Tracy still second. Everybody's still in contest.
And Pruitt was in 8th place. He was slow down that straight. Here's Rahal. Now tries to put a move on Raul Boesel. Team orders. Oh no, Boesel goes down the inside again.
A full gut steal as they jump on the brakes down into Station 5. Look at Ribeiro as he comes around Fernandez. And Ribeiro now on the back of Rahal. Lap 35. That's the lap they're working. This was the lap last year. Look at him as Boesel comes off.
Rahal pushes Boesel off the racetrack. I asked, was there team orders? There's the answer. No team orders. Rahal punts Raul Boesel off into the grass, through the gravel trap, into the grass again, and he's on his way. I suppose the boss can do whatever he wants.
That's an order of sorts, absolutely. I'm going to say it was on this lap of last year, Jack Villeneuve got around Paul Tracy to take the lead, and after that wasn't headed.
That puts Boesel a long way back and puts Rahal up a position. He is now in 5th. But look at Ribeiro. What a superb afternoon Andre Ribeiro has had in Steve Horn's Tasman car. This is the Honda engine. In fact, this is the car that Scott Goodyear almost won the Indy 500 with. This is the actual chassis that Scott Goodyear drove.
Oh, and Alessandro Zampedri off the course into the tire barrier. But he doesn't see any damage. He wants to be pushed back and be kept going. Will they go full course yellow here? 36 laps complete. Let's go back to that Rahal situation as he raced with his teammate.
This is turn 5, the incident we saw earlier. Boesel is on the inside. Rahal under braking. Whoa, something unusual happened there. I don't think it was Rahal who pushed him off. Oh, well, maybe it was. Yeah, there is contact
I
there.
think he just suddenly realized that he was still alongside him when he tried to come out off and make his turn into the corner.
But Rahal went by him so fast, Boesel must have missed a gear shift. There's no other explanation for such a hiccup of power on the way up the hill to the left-hander.
5th full course yellow of the day now comes out to pick up Alessandro Zampedri. And so they're going to save fuel. They'll all make it to the finish, but it's going to be a run.
Once again, a full course yellow here at Road America, so we won't have any record books as far as the average speed set this weekend at the Texaco Haviland 200, taking place in beautiful Elkhart Lake, Road America, the longest track in North America, 4 miles long. At the moment, it's been Jacques Villeneuve all day, has led the entire 36 laps that we have in the books. And as far as any of the talk about the fuel problems for anybody, well, you can put all those to rest now, because with these two, or at least 2 yellow flag laps, we will be okay on the fuel for Villeneuve. There we ride on board with Tracy, his broken mirror. And once again, we take a look at the Raul Boesel incident. And it looks like Bobby Rahal just tried to make his car a little extra wide. Pushed Raul Boesel onto the grass. And once he's on the grass, of course, you lose all the grip and then into the sand. But he managed to get it back. But I tell you what, a disappointing restart from the yellow flag for Raul Boesel. He started that in 2nd place. And we can now put him in 15th, riding on board with Bobby as we go down now into 5. Turns in through 5. Remember, it's very slick there. Boesel gets through on the inside, going up the hill, and it looks right there like Raul Boesel had a problem. And that's where Bobby had to even lift and go by around on the outside and then knock into Boesel. So the running orders, we take a look at Alessandro Zampedri in the tires. Villeneuve, Tracy, Vassar, Fabi, Rahal, and Ribeiro. Emerson Fittipaldi had a stop-and-go penalty.
IndyCar safety crews are now with Alessandro Zampedri, hooking up the line to tow him back out of the sand trap here. Full course yellow, 5th of the day, by 2 yellows a record here at Road America. And joining us now, Danny Sullivan, who is pit side, gotten out of his uniform, refreshed, and Danny's been watching with us. Welcome, Danny.
Thank you, Paul. It's good to be here, but not as good as it would be if I was out there leading right now.
Yeah, 2 victories here would be nice for you, wouldn't it?
It would be very nice.
Now, we've been watching that situation between Raul Boesel and his owner, Bobby Rahal, and you got a view of it. What'd you think?
Well, I agree with Derek. I think when Raul came out of there, he missed a gear, and that caused Bobby to shoot out, and then maybe Raul was fumbling around and got a little wide on the on the grass, and that's what put him off. But
here it is again, Raul, on the inside. Now here's the hesitation, right?
yes, but that's way before the braking area, way too soon. I think he had trouble with the gear. He probably was grabbing for something down there and got a wheel off on the grass on the outside, and then that was history.
So Raul Boisel off the course, finally got back on. Bobby Rahal continued on, and we wait for them to get Alessandro Zampedri back on course and probably under power.
Danny, remembering your incident, did you actually run into Maurizio? Did you actually make hard contact with him?
Well, I actually did run into him. What happened is he was trying to pass Fernandez around the outside of turn 1, got out there, had some gear trouble, got a little bit on the marbles, went out in the grass, looked like he was going to hit the fence, came back in front of Parker and myself, and Parker just got by. He nearly hit the back of his car, and I thought, okay, I've got the left side, went up the left side, and he shot back in front of me, and we hit head on. Not going very fast. It was pretty superficial damage, a little body work, and one suspension, I think, but we were just locked in there. And then I was signaling to him to get out, get out. I think everybody thought I was, yelling at him, but I was actually, there was a fire going in the back of his car.
Oh.
And I didn't want him sitting in there, and I wanted to make sure he didn't know there was a fire going, so he got out, the fire went out, everybody was okay. Cars aren't too badly damaged.
So two situations there. Let's go back to the other one, Rahal, Hogan. Let's talk with Hogan, Jan Beekes.
A lot of people have had a chance to comment. First, Danny Sullivan was watching very carefully the monitor, but so were you, Carl Hogan, both your team cars. What is your perspective? Have the drivers spoken to you about that incident?
Well, I think Bobby was right up alongside him. I think actually Raul either missed a shift or the engine died on for just a minute there. And when it did, it allowed Bobby to get right up on him. And I don't know if they touched or not, but it was strictly a racing situation, and we'll just have to live with it.
Any apologies coming across the radio that you can relay to each driver?
No, we just have to go to work now and get back some of it. So now we got our work cut out for us.
Thanks, Carl.
Right.
I think Carl may well be right. Didn't look like anybody touched there. Danny Sullivan has left, and we appreciate his coming by as well. Full course yellow. Way they line up as we're ready to go green. There's the leader, Villeneuve, Paul Tracy. Second place, closes right up on him. Third place, Jimmy Vasser. Then tail Bobby, then Bobby Rahal. Green flag awaits at the top of the hill. 37 laps complete.
The Canadian battle into turn 1 here. Never think Paul Tracy's too far behind to make an attempt.
Leading down the first hill, Adrian Fernandez battling with Scott Pruitt. Scott moved to the inside. Adrian came over there as well. That battle continues down the hill. It's a fight for 10th. Excuse me, for 7th.
The key to this weekend, Villeneuve has always believed, low downforce and be fast down this straight. He says it makes it very difficult for anybody to overtake you. And you can see how good Tracy is here under the braking zone, but he's just too far behind because of the speed of Villeneuve down this long straight.
Boy, what a great deal it would be if Paul Tracy could in fact outbrake him into the corner with all that terrible injury to his left foot. On board Ribeiro.
By far,
Ribeiro chases Bobby.
and by far his best ever Indy